Okay, and press is equal to, and it tells you where to start from. Now we want to start from 0 degrees. So 0 is equal to, and we want to end at 360. So 360 is equal to, and the step is the same as interval. So the interval is 90 degrees. And the calculator generates the entire table for you. So from here you read across 0. For 0, the y value is 0. So enter it here. When it's 90, see 90, the 90 gives you a value of 1. The 180 gives you a value of 0. The 270 gives you a value of -1. And the 360 gives you a value of 0. Okay, now we don't need our calculator anymore. All we need is our graph paper with your axes and your table. Now let's sketch. So at x, now this represents x and this represents y, like any Cartesian plane. So at 0 degrees, which is here, 0 degrees, I get 0, so my dot goes there. And at 90 degrees, I get 1, so 90, there's my 1 there. At 180, I get 0. There's another dot. And at 270, I get -1. And at 360, I get 0. Okay, now I know you're going to be tempted to take your ruler and join all of those. But had we taken smaller values, we'd have seen exactly where the graph grows. So from experience now, the graph would look like this. It's a curve. And that's your perfect sine graph. Okay, now with the sine graph comes terms. With trig graphs, there's a few terms that we have to learn. The first one is this that was given to you. That's called the domain. The domain of the graph is for what values of x is the graph drawn. So it's drawn from 0 to 360. So that's your domain. Domain refers to x values. Then we have the range. Range is the y values. So look along the y-axis for the y values. So the highest value here is this value here, 1. And the lowest value here is -1. So your range, we always write the smaller value and then the larger value. So the smallest value is -1 and the largest value is 1. And from what we learned in the past, this is called interval notation. It starts from -1 and stops at 1. And all the values in between are taken. Why? Look, it's from -1 all the way to 0. Then from 0 all the way to -1. So the graph exists for all values for y that are between -1 and 1. And that is your range. Your domain was from 0 to 360 degrees. And please note, we also use a square bracket there. I hope you're all happy so far. I can't take questions now. And then we have another word that we need to use. It's called amplitude. Okay, I'll come back to amplitude. Let's do this first. What is the maximum value of the graph? For maximum, you have to look at the y value. So the maximum y value is 1. And the minimum y value is, I can hear you telling it to me, -1. So the amplitude is, there's a nice formula for amplitude. It says maximum minus minimum divided by 2. So if we use the formula, it will be max is 1 minus -1 all over 2, and we will get 1. So your amplitude is 1. And I think those are the important things that we need to discuss for graphs. But for every graph that you draw, you need to know all this information here. So now I want to take you over to a cost graph. On this side of the page, I have 2 cost graphs. So when we draw graphs, we'll have a value in front. We want to see what effect it has on the graph. So now you're going to have to draw the sine graph and all the other ones that I give you that's attached to it. That's in your worksheet. And now today I'll show you how to draw the cost graph and how the 2 affects it.